So you started 18, 19 years old. What was it like getting into fly fishing? What were some of the hurdles, especially as a female? Because we do have female anglers that listen to this show. So what was that like, and how did you push past those?
It was a lot different than it is now. Now it's definitely a lot more 50-50 on the water. It's not necessarily yet, but a lot more push on the 50-50 on the water. And I really don't get too involved with any of that because I'm not saying I'm an elite fly fisher or anything. I think I'm just grumpy. I want to go by myself, be by myself mainly, or a couple people. I don't really count the difference between the two because really to me it's everybody on the water, whether you're a kid, man, woman, whatever. Or just
fishing.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I say. And so not 50-50, 100% of just anybody who wants to go. But don't ask me where I fish personally. But no, like I told you, I was bless the guys that I worked with, but and they didn't want some young punk who was 19 it took me, like I had to work to get in it. Now it's just with the availability of social media and all of that more, it's just so much easier. You can just post, hey, I want to learn how to fly fish. And you could potentially have 5 followers that are like, hey, I know how to fly fish. Hey, why don't you come? So I think that's made it a little bit easier for whether you're a female or a young boy who's never had any kind of fishing experience, trying to find other kids that fish or teenagers that potentially fish. That's what I've seen too, is a lot of teenagers really bonding together and networking in the fly fishing world, which has been cool, all on social media. And going out and doing stuff themselves after school. And I used to know these two boys that would get off school and they'd be on the Bitterroot every day. They'd be ditching school sometimes because I'd see them. And yeah, and social media has definitely helped with all of that. And it's also made it more difficult. You have so many people who want to get out that some people are just not into helping people anymore get out that used to be. So I guess maybe it's a double-edged sword, but I think it's definitely more on the pro side of getting kids out more now, and anybody too. Adults, I've seen 50-year-old ladies who have been like on Facebook commenting on something like, I want to learn how to fly fish. I want to learn. United Women on the Fly all the time has consistently ladies who are older than 30 that are going on there for the first time saying that they want to learn or they just moved to a new place too. Social media has just made it so much easier for people to be able to be vocal about, hey, I want to learn that. They may not stick with it. That's okay. They may just want to get into it and try it for a little bit. And maybe it's not their thing, but there's just a lot more resources now for hunting, fishing, conservation. If you want to be in the recreation world in any aspect, there's just so many more resources, which is cool. But it's also making places a lot busier. It's our duty as ambassadors of this great land that we're on and able to recreate on is to make sure that we're treating it properly, not necessarily telling everybody about every place too, which is so hard because we all want to be influencers and we all want to do those things for a living, as that'd be so cool. But at the same time, it's just the impact that we leave as people increase in areas and increase recreation in areas is just important to watch and just be mindful of. And it doesn't mean don't tell anybody. It just means be mindful of it and try to save it a little bit because things are getting busy. And, we had the numbers from 2018 to 2019 or 50.1 million people were fly fishing in the United States that year. Now that has had to have increased by quite a bit because when COVID happened, you had, so many people who unfortunately were not able to work, or fortunately for some people, they were able to get out. I worked in a fly shop during it. It was so busy. So it was like people were supposed to be staying in when it was opening up a little bit, but fly fishing was one of those sports that really wasn't affected as much because you weren't around people. You were trying to do it by yourself. And so I'm sure that 50.1 million number has definitely increased, of course, as the industry is increasing. It provides a ton of jobs as it does increase. And how do we talk about the environment and all of that, and how do we make sure that we're taking care of that, as well as providing for these folks whose livelihoods are the fishing industry, whether it be fly shop owners or guides. It's really important, and it's becoming more evident, I think, as you see organizations who are really stepping up too. Trout Unlimited obviously has always been a big component of fishing conservation, but other ones, BHA, A lot of times people look at BHA as just a hunting advocate, but no, backcountry hunters and anglers. Thank you.
We're in there.
Yeah. Wyoming Wildlife Federation has also done a lot of stuff as well for fishing recently. Mayfly Project, who's helping kids out who are in foster homes or foster care. Indy Fly as well too. So just a lot of really great organizations out there.